Hello, Legal Shield family, and specifically the young pros. I'd like to thank Joshua Lockhart for inviting me to spend a few moments with you. I'm so proud of this initiative. It's one that is very close to my heart. I know that the future belongs to the youth of this great nation, the nations of the United States and of Canada and around the world. And let me just share, if I can, a few moments, a reflection on my own life as I approach 60 years of age. I'm 58 and soon will be 59, and before you know it, 60. And all of you should probably say, wow, that's a really old dude. Well, you know, the thing is, until you reach my age, you won't have the chance to do what I'm going to do right now. That is, reflect upon when I was your age and what I thought the world would be like, and why I'm so hopeful. And also why I'm asking for each of you to step up and accept the challenge to recognize that you're going to be the reason why we realize the changes that we wish to have in our lives. I can remember when I graduated from school and went to Washington, D.C., and I was so full of hope, so much opportunity to make some changes for more freedom, more equality. And you know, every day we fought to try and make the laws better, to make the rules fair, to be able to give more opportunities to more people. And the truth of the matter is, as I look back, we did make progress. The frustrations that we feel today, in many ways, they pale in comparison to what things were like 200 years ago, 100 years ago, dare I say even 50 years ago. The frustrations, however, is that we always want things to get better faster than they do. But that's why we have to know that constitution, persistence, what I like to say is not patience, but it is the persistent patience that the work we do matters. For us at Legal Shield, we know that our mission is to make sure that people can live a life, an affordable life, that has full justice and security. We know that that is what we wish to do each and every day with the Legal Shield and ID Shield services, but also with the chance to spread that good news, to share it with others, and to be able to start one's own side hustle, their own business, their own separate path to financial freedom as an independent marketing and sales associate. The thing that I would like to impart upon you, which probably is self-evident, but I think bears repeating. Young Pros is about young people, talking to young people. As I speak to you today, you may find some of the words that I share to be perhaps worthwhile, but for Young Pros to really take off as a movement on its own, it needs to be true to the core values and principles of Legal Shield, but it needs to be communicated in a language that can only be understood by people that are, in their 20s and 30s, quite frankly. It would seem false for me to dress in a way that doesn't look like it's age appropriate or speak in a way that isn't age appropriate. So you've got to do the work because it's the right way to do that work. Share the news of Legal Shield, of ID Shield, of our business opportunity with people that are of your age. It's your generation. Each generation has to convalesce around ideas. Those ideas need to become beliefs. And those beliefs have to move from the generation to the greater society. For us, the ideas are freedom, equality, opportunity, and the virtue of justice. Those need to become the core foundation of your beliefs for them to take even greater hold in our society as you continue to progress through your life. Again, a few words from somebody that's lived, for some of you, I may have lived 3 times as long as you have been alive, for many more, I'm certain, twice as long, but I share them from a very positive place, from my heart, from my spirit, to be able to say to you, make a difference. Make a living, but make a difference. Make a difference in your own life and the lives of others. Know that each and every day you can believe that our time is now, that your time is now, that the difference can be made. It is simple, but it is not easy. I'm counting on you because only you will make sure that it gets done.
Hey, Mr. Bell, thank you so much. How cool is it that a CEO of a $2 billion company would take the time out of their day to spend it with you and I, right? To invest in the next generation of leadership and success here with Legal Shield. I'm so appreciative. I know that you are, but let's make sure that he knows. Go to the comment section, type in, thank you, Mr. Jeff Bell. Let's let your voice be heard so he gets the message. Now, I want to go through the next couple of hours of what you can expect from this event. Now, I will tell you, after this event, there's going to be an opportunity, a Zoom call that you can invite guests, potential members, potential associates, because it's not what you know, it's what you do with what you know. And we want to make sure that 2021 is going to be your best year, that it starts off correct, that you start off fast. And we're going to have that opportunity today at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. But of course, between now and then, right, make sure you have one of these, right? Make sure you have your notebook. Of course, you got to have something to write with. Have your phone, have your Prospect by Legal Shield ready, because we're going to give you some tips on what to do, what to say. We're going to have time together to actually get that done. But here's what you can expect of the training, right? Maybe you're at one level and you're like, I need to take it to the next income level, right? Maybe it's that first level of $50,000 in 12 months where we have one of our top council members and ring earners doing a specific training on what they did to make that happen over an 8-week period. So what to track, what to focus on, how to communicate with your team so you can get to the next level. That's going to be awesome. Maybe you're like me and you're like, man, I need to figure this recruiting thing out. I want to be a top recruiter. I want to grow my business. Well, we have one of the top recruiters in all of Legal Shield who happens to be a Young Pro Council member, has put together a training for you all. And of course, no training in 2021 would be complete without talking about social media, right? So, do I do this? What platform? How do I get it all started? What do I post? Well, of course, we went out to somebody who's well into the 6-figure range, who is just crushing it on social media, making lots of sales, getting, recruiting people from social media. I've actually taken their training and it was so valuable to me. I'm like, this person has to train, and they've taken time out. We've secured a top training for you on social media. And of course, duplication, right? That's the big thing. We got to have more duplication. Wouldn't you love to have a duplicating, growing organization this year that duplicates with or without you? Well, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it, and of course, what you can expect from the Young Pros in 2021. We want to ensure that this year is your best year in business. And if you're just getting started with us, of course it's going to be your best year just because you're getting started, but we want to help you rather to go faster, to go further. So let's get started. Hey, my name is Josh Lockhart. I'm a Young Pro, and our time is now.
Really cute and comfy. These beds are beautiful. We have 2 more bedrooms on this side, and the bedroom on this side. This is beautiful. Wow. This is
I'm a Young Pro, and our time is now.
Mr. Lockhart, I am a Young Pro, and guess what, you guys? Our time is now.
So this is objections or solutions.
lot of stories about people.
Hey, my name is Kevin Schritt. I'm with the Young Pros, and my time is now.
I'm a young pro. The time is now.
And our time is now.
I'm a young pro. Our time is now.
I don't get paid to tell somebody what I do for work. I get paid to tell people what I do for business.
He goes, would you stay and finish if I stay with you?
Hey, Young Pros, Martavius Hillman here out of the Atlanta, Georgia market. So excited about this event, man. Go to youngproschat.com right now. Drop some fire emojis. This event has already started off on fire, right? Thank you, Mr. Jeff Bell, our servant CEO, for kicking us off. Then our servant leader, Joshua Lockhart, Senior Network Vice President for the Young Pros here. Thank you for that introduction message. And that recap video of 2020, man, what we accomplished in the midst of a pandemic, man, that is amazing. And of course, we had an Super Saturday just last Saturday, right? And we heard a lot of good information, a lot of good announcements, a lot of good enhancements. You to know is, listen, PC push, it ends tomorrow. So let's do what we got to do to close out today, close out tomorrow. Let's go get that $100 bonus, $150 bonus, $200 bonus, $300 bonus, whatever you're going for, right? And why I'm excited that I get a chance to talk to you, or I get a chance to mention that the PC push is ending tomorrow, that's not what I'm here for, right? I'm here for the $50,000 ring. I would think that if you asked the most ring earners what was their hardest ring, would probably say the $50,000 ring, right? And maybe it's because we probably had to leave one mindset and shift to another mindset to get to the $50,000 ring, right? So what I want to do is talk to you about 4 steps of getting to the right mindset for running to the $50,000 ring. So if you're ready, go on and drop ring, the word ring, or even the ring emoji, right? The ring emoji inside of the chat, and let us know that you're ready. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So for your notes, let's make a decision. But when you make this decision, you got to make 4 decisions when you make this decision. The first decision is why. Why are you running for the ring, right? That's different from why you're doing the business, right? So when I joined the business because I found out that I was having my first child. And my background has been in the adult beverage industry. I absolutely love what I was doing, right? Until I didn't, which was when I found out I was having my first child. Because while I love what I tell rooms, I was spending in my own bedroom. And if I didn't make a change, I was going to be raising that child through Facebook, FaceTime, and Instagram with the rest of the world. And I didn't want that to be my case. So I started looking for something different. That's the reason why I started the business, right? Then my son was born January 30th, 2020. So my why changed of why I was doing the business. Then I lost my job in May of 2020 to why I was doing the business. But I decided to run for the ring last August, right? And the reason why I was doing the business did not change. Did. I ran for the ring for multiple reasons, right? 1, the income. The income is amazing, right? 2, I love recognition. 3, my mentor, my upline, my platinum, like my guy, right? Mr. Alistair Edwards. He deserved it. So why are you running for the ring? Again, it could be the same reason why you're doing the business. It could be. But a lot of times it's different. So figure out why you're running for the ring. Second, who are you running for this ring for, right? So that could be different. You heard me say why. 1, the income, right? 2, the recognition. 3 was Mr. Edwards. He was my who. A lot of people would say, oh man, you was running for your son. No. My son was well taken care of, right? He's gonna be well taken care of. But Mr. Edwards was my who. The third decision that you gotta make is what are you running for the ring for, right? The income, who, Mr. Edwards. What? The recognition, right? The recognition. I wanted it. I wanted to walk across the stage, right? I can't wait till St. Louis in April 15th through the 18th. If you're not registered, go get registered now. Well, after this event, of course, but I can't wait to walk across that stage, right? Man, when are you going to do it by? When are you going to do it by? Make the decision, right? Make a decision to pick a date. I want to go back to the what for a little while, right? So what was I doing it for? So October 2019, I went to my very first Legal Shield event. During that event, I went to a team breakout. Absolutely love my team, Team New Vision, TNV DNA, TNV for life over here. But during that event, that was just for ring earners. And I sat in the session. I didn't know. I was brand new. I was like 3 months into the business. I didn't know. I sat down and someone walked up to me and was like, hey, Mr. Hillman, unfortunate for just the ring earners. She was really nice about it. But I made a decision that day that I would not go back to another event. And they tell me that I couldn't sit somewhere because I didn't have a ring, right? So, but also because I can't wait to St. Louis at our team breakout. I'm sitting down at the ring earners table. So make a decision, right? But 4 decisions: why, who, what, and when. Second thing for your notes. Second thing you need for the mindset to run for the 50K ring, you got to be willing to share that decision to 3 people. 1, your upline, right? Why do you want to share it to your upline? Because 1, they can help you, right? When I shared my decision, I shared all 4 of my decisions with Mr. Edwards. And my date when I shared the decision with Mr. Edwards was December 30th, because they do recognize rings on Wednesday. So I wanted to make sure that my ring was done by Wednesday so I can get the recognition on, right? So my date was December 30th. And he told me, he said, no. He said, it can be the last Wednesday of October, but it's October. And I'm, me thinking, no. I didn't tell him this. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm going for it. I get off the phone. I told my wife, I'm like, he crazy. He moved it up 2 months, right? But not only did he move it up 2 months, he showed me how I could do it in those 2 months, right? Within those 2 months. Put your upline, share it with your workout partner, whoever you're working with. So, right? I shared it with a few workout partners. I have a lot of workout partners, but at the time I shared it with a few. One of my workout partners to top executive director, Young Pro Council member Malik Self hit me up every single day. All right, how much you got going towards the ring? Like, how much is left? How much is left? How much is left? Right? And why I like that so much is because I didn't want to say, oh man, I'm $20,000 away today, and then tomorrow when he asked, oh man, it's still $20,000. So I was doing everything I could so when he asked me tomorrow, I can give him an update and say, man, it's $19,952 difference, right? Now we all know Legal Shield pay us more than $8 for everything that we do, but still, I didn't care if it was an $8 difference. I just didn't want it to be the same, right? So get you a workout partner first. Second, share it out, or not stand out, but what made me really go hard for the ring the last month and a half is that I told my downline. We did a team call with some of my leaders and their organization. And I said, man, October organization, we're going to be a $50,000 ring organization as well. Guess what they did? They bought into it and they ran with me. They asked me every time. They was like, Mr. Hillman, what else do we need? What else do you need to get to the $50,000 ring? What else can I do? Right? And of course, as leaders, we put it back on them. Hey, I need you to PC qualify, right? I need you to get your bonus. I need you to get your future leader of Legal Shield bonus. I need you to get your senior manager bonus. I need you to do what you got to do to operate your business, right? I pushed them. We was working together to get this ring done. So share that decision with 3 people, your upline, whether it's your sponsor, your upline ring earner, your upline executive director, your upline, right? Share with your workout partner, share with your downline. Third thing, what is your reward, right? So when I made the decision to go for the ring, I had to pick out 3 rewards. I had to pick out a personal reward for myself. What was I going to give myself for accomplishing this? If you know, right, like Mr. Lockhart, Miss Brown, Miss Joseph, I bought my reward 2.5 months before I hit the ring. And I couldn't open it. I couldn't touch it, right? And what that did, I put it right here in my office. It's right in front of me. It's still right here. Honestly, I can reach and grab it, right? I'm not going to do it because it's libations, but still, it's right here. I went in front of me. I saw it every day, and it made me work harder because I knew I wanted it, right? Second, what's your family reward? What's your family reward? You know, my much for me running for this ring, I had to do something for him, right? And I know you probably saying, man, dude, your son is not even a year old yet. Like, what kind of reward did you give to your son, right? I gave him my presents. When I hit my ring, I didn't take time off from my business, right? But I gave him my presents. I made sure when it was time for his midday nap, I was there. I put him to sleep, right? When it was time for him to go to bed, I was in the bed. I put him to sleep. Why? Because when I was running for the ring, I couldn't do any of that. I was up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I didn't go to bed some days until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, right? So I sacrificed putting my son to bed, which is something I love to do, right? He loves my wife, but for some reason, my son loves sleeping under me, and I love it. But going for that ring for 2.5 months, 3 months, I couldn't do it. I couldn't, right? So that's something that I gave my son, and I'm still giving it to him, right? I make sure when it's time for him to go to bed, I'm able to lay down in the bed, come back to my office, and I go to work, right? But that's what I was doing. Now I'm back on to another 90-day run. I'm running for another ring, bigger ring alert. You know, it's the reward for my son. The reward for my wife, took on a shopping spree. You know what I mean? But not only that, my son broke, my wife is a photographer, and my son knocked over her tripod ends of her camera. And if you know anything about cameras, you know, if you got the lens in and the cap not on it, you can dust up the lens. It just doesn't take good pictures anymore. So that's all we was thinking about. But what happened was when it landed on the lens, it jammed up inside the camera to where my wife couldn't take the lens off. When she started taking pictures with the camera, the pictures was actually a little tilted because the lens had shifted a little bit. She was devastated. You know what I was able to do? Because it was a reward for her, and I wanted to do it for her because she sacrificed so much for me. I was able to give her $2,500. That meant the world to me because, listen, without Legal Shield, just working corporate America, I was doing pretty good in corporate America, right? But I never had $2,500 extra to put on a camera to fund my wife's business. But because she funded me just by taking care of a newborn while I ran for the ring, I was able to reward her with a brand new camera. Just told her to pick it out, I'll pay for it. During a pandemic, right? So what's your reward? Your personal reward, your family reward, but third, what's your team reward? Because no one gets to the ring by themselves. Or should I say 99% of the people don't get to the ring by themselves. You have some that do groups, right? They're groupies. So 90% of their income is based off of personal production, right? But 99% of us, we get to the ring because of team effort. So what I did was for everyone that was PC Pro qualified, during that ring run, I paid for them to go to the GoPro. I paid for them to go to the GoPro. Everyone that was PC qualified, they also got a ticket to go to St. Louis, right? That was their reward. I invested back into my team because they invested into me and my vision and my goals, right? So make a decision, share your decision. What's your reward? And lastly, imagine the day you reach your goal. I want you to close your eyes, and it's the date that you set. So for me, it was October 21st. October 28th was my date. I hit it October 21st. October 28th, or whatever date you set. And on that day, when you wake up, knowing that you've hit the $50,000 ring, you wake up knowing that somewhere during that day, you're going to get a phone call saying that you are the newest $50,000 ring earner with Legal Shield. When you wake up, what are you going to do? Right? You're going to brush your teeth, hopefully, right? You're going to brush your teeth, take a shower, you're going to get dressed. What you going to wear? Right? Are you going to leave the house? Are you going to be home and wait on that call? Are you going to be at work? Right? Think about it. A lot of people hit the $50,000 ring on a part-time basis with a full-time job. So are you going to be at work the day that you hit the ring? Right? How are you going to act when you get the phone call? So you woke up, you brushed your teeth, you took a shower, you got dressed, and your work uniform, or me, I was in a three-piece suit. Why? I don't know. That was just what I chose to wear that day when I imagined it. I was in a three-piece suit. And so you done got dressed. You wherever you're gonna be at the time that you get the call, and your phone ring. You pick up, and it's your upline platinum who have your enroller. If your upline and platinum is not, you have the person that helped you the most, or helped you along the way with your enroller, your sponsor, your upline. They all on the phone, and they call and they say, "Hey, I just want to tell you, just got the word in that you are the newest $50,000 ring earner." How are you going to act when you get that call? Once you get off the call with them, who are you going to text? Or who are you going to call? Who are you going to tell first? Who are you going to tell first? You know, is it going to be your spouse? Is it going to be your kids? Who are you going to tell first? Right? So let's recap, and then I'm going to close out with a few action steps, right? So one, you got to make a decision. You're going to make 4 decisions. You're going to make why you're running for the ring, who you're doing it for, what you're doing it for, and when you're going to get it by. Those are the 4 decisions that you're going to make, right? They can all be 4 different reasons, right? But why, who, what, and when. But you got to be willing to share those decisions with your upline, your workout partner, as well as thinking, Mr. Hillman, I don't have a downline. Okay. When you say, Mr. Hillman, only got one person on my team. Okay, well, you and him both, or you and her both, right? Tell them. And you guys come together to work towards that vision, right? Together. So tell your downline. Number 3, what's going to be your reward? Your personal reward, your family reward, your team reward. Who you're going to reward for their sacrifice. Because when we make our families, our teams, our uplines, you know, everyone that's in our circle, right? So what's going to be the reward? And then 4, I want you to Imagine it. Please close your eyes every single day and imagine that it's the date that you set and you've hit your goal, right? All right, so in closing, let's talk about what you can do right now. What can you do right now? First thing you can do is on Monday morning, email recognition. That's recognition at legalshieldcorp.com or recognition at legalshield.com. Email recognition and ask them how much is needed for you to hit your $50,000 ring. Find out. Because the way I'm going to teach, or not teach you, the way I'm going to share what I did to get to the $50,000 ring, I need you to know the exact amount. See, a lot of people say, hey, you know you want to hit it in April? Well, look at May. How much did you make from May of last year to now? Subtract that from 50,000. That's how much you got to hit before April, right? Well, no, I want you for the exact date, okay? So email recognition and find out how much is needed by that date. Then number two, I need you to understand how you are paid. Legal Shield pays us a number of ways. It is by enrolling and protecting members, right? That's the only way we get paid, but it comes in different forms. So let's talk about that. You get paid the most at the highest level, right? So this is going to be based on the 2495 plan, right? 95 plan. So if you're a ED and you personally enroll a 2490 plan, you make $140. But guess what? If you're an ED and you have a team right along with you that's enrolling those 2495 plans, if they're under the closest thing to you is the closest person to you is a manager, that's a $70 override. What if the closest person to you is a senior manager? Override. The closest person to you is a director. That's a $45 override. Now, we just heard last week on the Super Saturday, the company-wide Super Saturday, that the average plan right now is $35. So the numbers that I'm giving you, you can actually add to it, right? The company is selling, the average premium that the company is selling is $35 per membership, right? And that was with the $9.95 home business supplement. Now our home business supplement is $12.95 with some enhanced services, right? So now our average plan or our average premium is probably going to be about $37. So if we're just talking about the $24.95 at the ED level, you make $140 every time you personally enroll a $24.95 membership, right? But the average is $37 in premium. You can add to that. Or as an ED, your override with managers, because right, in order to go director, you got to have 3 manager legs. So bare minimum, you got managers there. So the bare minimum you're going to make is $70, right? So you have the $70 for the $24.95 plan, but we just said the average premium is $37, $35, right? So that could be actually added. So you got to understand how you get paid, right? So what about the bonuses? We have Fast Start bonuses. We have Future Leader of Legal Shield bonuses. We have the Senior Managers in your first 90 days bonuses. We have the PC for Life bonuses, right? So Fast Start bonuses, that's a $100 bonus to the new associate plus a $100 matching bonus to the sponsor. Future Leader of Legal Shield, $450 bonus to the associate, $150 matching bonus to the senior director, the first senior director, right? Senior manager, same thing, $450, $150 to the matching to the upline senior director. Now the sponsor also get bonuses as well, but I'm talking about you at the ED level, right? So we know that if we're ED and we sponsor someone, we help them go senior manager, of course our bonuses is going to be much higher, right? But at the ED level, we also know that we can sponsor 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people personally but our organization is still sponsoring, or should be, or may be, right? Maybe sponsoring more than that. So I do it off the masses. I'm not a top recruiter, right? I recruit maybe 2-3 people a month, but my team double-digit recruits every month. So when I did ring, I didn't do it off of my 2 or 3 people. I did it off of the 12, as the upline ED or the upline senior director, right? I was going to get a matching $150 bonus. So understand how you're paid, commissions and overrides, as well as bonuses, right? And the bonuses that you're tracking is the fast start, the future leader of Legal Shield, the senior manager, and the PC for life. And it's the matching part of it, the senior director and above matching of it, right? Track everything. The third thing you can do right now is start tracking everything, right? So I said email recognition, find out how much it is. So if you know that you need $20,000 by this date, how many personal sales do you need, right? So when I did it, I tracked everything, personal sales, right? And I said, okay, over the next 3 months, I need to make $3,000 in personal. That's $1,000 a month, right? Double, making 140. We talking about 8 memberships, right? I'm PC Pro, and I got $1,000 in personal commissions. I needed $3,000 over the next 3 months, right? In personal. In overrides, I needed $10,000 over the next 10 months, right? I'm just throwing out numbers. I erased my board, but this is what I was tracking. So how many sales do you need in each leg, and where's it coming from, right? Because at one point when I started running for the ring, I popped the senior director. So I knew that I needed to get more production out of my manager legs and my senior manager legs than I needed out of my senior, because the commissions there were smaller. The overrides were smaller. So if someone sold a $24.95 in my manager leg, I made $75. Someone sold a $24.95 in my senior director leg, I made $25, right? So I knew where it needed to come from, right? And I knew how much needed to come from each leg. Track your matching bonuses. So I knew that I needed dollars in matching bonuses, right? So I looked at how many could I do personally over the next 3 months. Told you I was recruiting 2 to 3 people a month. All of them are not going to go senior associate. All of them are not going to go future leader. All of them are not going to go senior manager. So I broke it down. I said, okay, if I recruited 9 people over the next 9 months, I helped 6 of them go senior associate, 4 of them go manager, 1 of them go senior manager, $5,000. I'm just throwing out numbers, right? You can do the math yourself. Then cool, that's what I was looking for. But I also said, okay, wait, that's 9 for me. The team is doing 10 a month. That's going to be 30 over the next 3 months. If I take the 30, we have 20 people go senior associate, right? Out of the 20, we have 15 go manager. Now I'm getting some upline senior directors and ED bonuses, right? Matching bonuses. We help another 10 go senior manager. I'm getting some more matching bonuses, right? So track how many you need personal to go to these rank advanced level bonuses, these level up bonuses, and how many you need on the organization. And then last but not least, please track PC for life. PC for life, or Performance Club, is our longest running incentive. Why? As Don Thompson would say, because it simply works, right? $100 in premium starting month 5. If you do $100 in premium for 4 months consecutive, on month 5, you can pick up an extra bonus, right? You do $200 in premium for 4 months, and on month 5, you pick up an additional bonus, right? So it just works. But here's how it works, because you're helping your team do the exact same thing, right? I hope this is making sense. I really do. You're helping your team, and you help your team PC Pro. And every time they PC Pro, now you're the upline senior director or above, right? So now you're picking up additional matching bonuses. I mean, come on, right? You have 10 people. For the simplicity of math, You have 10 people on your team, PC qualify, and you make a $50 master. Oh, well, we're talking about the highest level. You do know that they're cumulative, right? So you're making $100 at the executive director and $50 at the senior director, right? So now that's $150. You have 10 people PC qualify. That's extra $1,500 added on to your PC. If you've been around for less than 12 months and your retention is over 82% and your PC check is $125 and you just added $1,500 to it, that's $1,625 a month that you're making just by helping 10 people on your team PC qualify. What if you help them PC Pro? What if you help them PC Pro? Right? I knew how many people. My biggest PC check was $19.90, right? $80. And it was because I was tracking it. I knew how many people I needed to be in PC, in Performance Club, right? I saw how many was PC qualified last month. And I knew that, okay, I needed a PC qualified again this month. So guess who I worked with? Those 12 people. I helped those 12 people, right? PC qualify. Well, some PC Pro, some PC qualified, right? And my personal, right, because I was here less than 24 months, my personal Performance Club check was only $375. But with the PC for Life, it was $1,990. That went towards the ring. You have to understand how you get paid, right? Because once you understand how you get paid, you'll understand how to track it. You understand what you need to get what you got to get, if that makes sense, right? So listen, man, again, my name is Martavius Hillman. Our time is now. And it has been a pleasure of mine to share this information with you because it was shared with me. This is not something I came up with, right? This is not something I created. This is not something that I say, you know what? The company needs this in place, so I'm going to create it. No, this is something that when I told my upline, my millionaire networks, and we sat down over lunch and he game planned with me, this is what he taught me, right? This is what he taught me. This is what I implemented. I'm not going to say this is what he taught me. This is what he showed me, and this is what I implemented, right? Because we can show every people that's going to reach the $50,000 ring is the ones that implement what they learned here today. Everyone is going to be an amazing year. And I'm going to take this time right now to just say, I look forward to seeing you walk across the stage in April at Cabo and in October at our leadership conference, because I know you will. With that, have an amazing rest of the event. And I look forward to seeing you at our 8 p.m. opportunity Zoom at youngprozoom.com. Have a great day.
Hey, young pros. Oh my goodness. Did Mr. Hillman kill it or what? I know after that, you're ready to get your ring. I know I'm ready to get more rings. Guys, my name is Jocelyn Brown, one of the many executive directors here with the Young Pros. We're going to have a ball. It's break time. But wait. Don't go so fast, because here's what we're going to do. We know that we're all about income producing activity. We're not here just waiting for it to drop in our lap. We got to go get it. And after that training, I know you can go get it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a 5-minute break after that incredible training. And I want you to open up your phones. We're going to put up an invite script. I want you to send this script out to at least 5 to 10 friends, inviting them. Because guess what? We're doing a presentation tonight at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be doing a presentation just for your young pros. And so please send out your invitations. We are going to put the script up right now. Pull out your phone and let's get it. Hi guys, did you send out your text messages? I hope you did, because we're preparing for the next training. Again, guys, we have a presentation that's happening tonight at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time at youngprozoom.com, youngprozoom.com. You're gonna have an opportunity to send out your invites again, so don't get all wrapped up in it, because we're gonna keep this party going. Are you ready for your next trainer? Because I know that you are gonna get so much from this gentleman. Your business is about to explode. Get ready, buckle up, because this next training is about to be the one.
Hey family, welcome to your YP, yes, the Young Pros All the Way Up event. Look family, I am excited to be able to share a few things with you all that I believe is going to help you to explode your recruiting and take your business to an entirely different level. Who here is ready to take their business to another level? Look, I know that I am, I know that my team is, and so I hope that you all are as well. Look, we did some amazing things as an organization, as a company, in 2020, right? That was a phenomenal year. Record numbers in sales and in recruiting. Like these were records from 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So it was an amazing year, but that was in the past now, right? So we looked forward to the future right here in 2021 with excitement, because we know that all that we did then was great, but it's gonna pale in comparison to the things that we're gonna do this year. And so I'm excited once again to be able to share with you all, to pour into all of you things that were shared with me over the last several years that has transformed my business, right? Things that once I caught a hold of and I fully understood them, gave me confidence that I could go out and have massive success. Look, many of you, like I said, maybe had an amazing year last year, so I congratulate you. Maybe you hit the manager position, or maybe you reached the executive director position for the first time. And I remember my first time hitting the executive director position. That was an amazing accomplishment. So I congratulate and salute all of you that did amazing in 2020, right? Maybe you got your 50K ring or your 100K ring. But we still want to take this business to another level, right? Because the better you do, the more that you do, the more people you're helping and you're blessing, right? So this training is going to be for you. Look, but maybe, just maybe, I'm speaking to a few of you that are in the position I was in several years ago, right? In a position of saying, I need a change. Like all these people are having amazing success, and I'm excited for them because I celebrate others when I celebrate all wins, but I want to feel like I'm winning also. Like I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel right now. Like that was me several years ago, just last year. And so I needed something to change. So this event is also going to be for you, right? Especially for you. So for those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Edmund Hunter, born and raised in Tucson, Arizona. That's about an hour and a half south of Phoenix. So for those of you that, got your geography right? You got a good grade in geography, you know where that's at, right? But my background is of a former college student athlete, and my entire working career was spent in the restaurant industry. So you name it, if it was done in a restaurant, I did it, right? Whether it was scrubbing dishes, cooking, serving, eventually I was a restaurant manager, and all that was great. But once again, didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, getting home at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, just didn't feel fulfilled doing exactly what I was doing. And so when I saw this opportunity, guys, it changed the game for me, because I was able to start dreaming all over again. I knew that it was possible for me to have success, the success that I craved and desired, because I saw other people that were winning, right? And I knew that it didn't mean that they were better than me. It just meant that maybe they had put in more time than me, more work than I had, or maybe their backstory. I didn't know what it was, but all I knew was that I was around that environment so I could win also, right? And so that's where some of you may be. And so I'm excited to be able to speak to you all. I'm going to speak about 5 things that you need, 5 must-haves in order to be a top recruiter. Right? Why is it important to recruit? Because that's going to gain leverage for you, right? Because I would rather earn 1% on the efforts of 100 people rather than 100% of my own efforts. Okay, does that make sense? Because look, if I completely depend and rely on just my efforts, if my income is solely attached to what it is that I do, then that's scary. Because what if I get sick? Like when I was working in the restaurant industry as a server, as a bartender, for sure, I had no assurances, right? But here in Legal Shield, because I'm able to recruit, I'm able to build an organization, I have more leverage. So last month, like unfortunately, a lot of my relatives in December, they got the coronavirus, right? They had COVID. But I was able to really support them and take care of my father and be there and be present for them, and didn't have to take a dip in income because I had leverage. I had support from a team, an organization that I was able to grow over the past year and more. So that type of leverage, family, is why we recruit. And that's why we're going to spend some time here talking about these 5 must-haves to be a top recruiter. Okay, so number 1 is going to be able to make a plan. You need to have a plan. I believe that it's so important to be intentional about everything that you do. Right? So write that down, guys, right? This is important stuff. Like when I first started my business, I used to not take notes. I would just listen, and I was engaged. And I mean, we have phenomenal speakers in Legal Shield. And because of that, right, sometimes I was just engaged in listening. But we need to take notes, family. So write it down. You need to make a plan and be intentional about your plan. Why is that important? Because it gives you direction, right? Like, I mean, you can set a goal, but if you don't write out a plan for that goal, then it's just a wish, right? You're just hoping. It's just a shot in the dark, right? I always say, look, we don't want to be Rambo, right? And you're just out there spraying things. We want to be Jason Bourne, right? You want to be a sniper, meaning precision, right? So you want to be able to make a plan. And what do I mean by that? Whatever your goals are, let's say it's that you want to recruit 5 people per month, right? Let's say you want to earn $1,000 per month. $5,000 per month, whatever your goal is for you, right? You want to have a plan. And so that's going to be setting the goal and then walking that goal backwards, right? So what do I mean by that, right? Let's say I want to recruit 5 people a month. So that's the goal. But then I'm going to say, all right, so I know I need to talk to some folks in order to get 5, right? So if I do my 2 exposures per day, right? And that means that if I work 5 days a week, then that means I'm going to speak to 10 people per week. That's going to be 40 people per month. So if I expose 40 people in a month, can I recruit 5? Right? That's part of a plan. So it's important to be able to make a plan and be intentional about it. So meaning you want to set your calendar and the dates around what it is that you plan to achieve. Right? So I know that, look, I've got a 3-way phone call that I'm going to be making at this time, right? Because I'm intentional about it, right? I don't want things to get in the way of the time that I have with my little daughter that you see up there, right? So I plan these things ahead of time, right? Does this make sense, guys? Right? We're here on a Young Pros, right? A young professional event. So that's what's so important about it, is that yes, we're young, and yes, we add our own flair and swag and style to it, but we're still professionals. And in being a professional, right, you want to set a plan in place that's going to allow you to have some intention behind the things that you're doing, right? Number 2 is going to be persistent and consistent. All right, why is that important, right? Because in anything that you do in life, you're not going to have much success with it if you can't be consistent and persistent. What do I mean by that? Remember I said 2 exposures per day? That is core commitment number 3, to do 2 to 5 exposures every single day. That builds consistency. When you have consistency, family, it's going to help you to have confidence, right? And so what I love so much about that is that I've built up confidence from the repetitions, right? In the beginning of prospecting and in the beginning of, wishing and hoping to be a top recruiter, I didn't feel like I was so good at it, but I also knew that I could make up in the numbers what I lacked in the skill. What do I mean by that? All right, this is a Jim Rohn quote, right? I can make up in numbers what I lack in skill. So in the beginning, you're not going to be so good at it. Right? That's just what it is. Like, you can't look good and get better at the same time. So I knew that I just needed to talk to a lot of people. And so that repetition started to develop my skill. Right? Does that make sense? And so in those 2 to 5 exposures every single day, right? I failed a couple times over and over and over again. But after a while, I started to gain some confidence, because even if people were still saying no to me, my delivery was better. Right? Does that make sense? Like, look, I hope that you all are getting this. And these are important things, because some of you may not feel so confident. It's like your consistency can easily be broken, because when someone tells you no, it's like, this is just not working for me. It's almost like going to the gym when you first start going, just stretching, hurts, right? Like the next day just from stretching you're sore. But over time, if you continue to do it, if you push past the pain of that beginning, just stretching and lifting the weights and doing the exercises and doing your cardio, eventually you start to build some confidence in knowing that you can get through it, right? That it's not so bad. So it's the same way here. You want to get your reps in over and over and over again. And what do I mean by being persistent in that? Look, when you expose someone or when you speak to someone about this information, right, about Legal Shield that we're so excited about, you want to be persistent with them. So you want to set time frames, right? Maybe they say, look, yeah, I'm willing to take a look at some information for you. And you're like, great. But what many of us do is we then immediately send them information. We're like, look, someone finally said yes. So we text them, hey, here's the video that I promised that I was going to send to you. Instead of them, once again, setting that intention and we say, hey, when is going to be the best time for me to follow up with you? Right before we send the information. Okay. And so then what that does is then it's going to help you to be persistent because now all you're doing is following up at the time that you said you're going to follow up. All right. They said that you could follow up at 3, you follow up at 3. Okay. And once you do that, if they're not ready at that time, then you set another appointment. Maybe you schedule another 3-way phone call and then you're persistent about that and you're consistent with it. This is what I mean by being persistent and consistent with your activity. It builds your confidence. And that leads me to the third point that you need, right? The third thing that you need in order to be a top recruiter. And it's going to be posture. This is not easy, right? This is not an easy one to have because you're going to have to borrow belief of others in the beginning. And I heard people say that early on in my Legal Shield business to borrow my belief, right? I heard Brian Carruthers on stage one time say, look, and if you don't believe it, right, then borrow my belief. And I was like, well, how do I really get his belief, right? Like he has the belief he has because he's had some time in the game, some skin in the game, and he's become successful. So that's why he has that belief. But look, whatever his belief was, right? I didn't need to make an excuse for it or think that I couldn't adopt it. I knew that he was winning, right? There was something that he was doing that made him believe that, look, this is it. And so I needed to know that even though I hadn't had that same amount of time in the game or the same amount of reps that he had, I knew that it was working because it was working not only for him, but many other people. And so that started to develop my posture. And what I mean by posture, guys, is just your confidence, the way that you relay this information to people. Do you believe that people need what it is that we have, right? Do you believe in our services? Okay. Have you used the services? This is once again going to build your confidence so that you start to have that posture where when you call someone, you're more surprised when they don't get it, right? That's how I feel now about speaking to someone about the Legal Shield opportunity. I'm like, hey, what did you like most about what you saw? With excitement in my voice. Why? Because I'm assuming that they want what it is that we have, right? I wanted it when I first saw a presentation. I was like, look, I'm in. So that's the way I speak to people because my posture shows them that they should want, hey, you don't have that legal app on your phone yet, right? So that type of posture that I've adopted over time, it didn't come naturally. It didn't come in the beginning. It came because I saw other people that were winning and I understood that something in their experiences, all right, in their repetition, the confidence that they had gained gave them the posture and the belief in what it is that we were doing. And I just needed to hang on to their posture and their belief for a little while until the reps caught up, right, for myself, until my skill got higher, right? Until my belief increased. And then I would have that posture for myself where I just knew without a shadow of a doubt, like if I spoke to the next person, they were going to say yes. And if that person didn't say yes, it's okay because I know that the next person is going to say yes, right? That's how I feel about it. And then if they don't say yes, then hey, it's okay. The third person, they're going to say yes. Like that's how you have to feel about our opportunity and get excited, right? Have you read the book, Go for No? Right? The reason that we go for no is because we understand that this is a numbers game in a sense. This is a people business, but it's a numbers game, right? A people business, but a numbers game. And what do I mean by that? Look, if you speak to 100 people, eventually it's going to be for somebody, but you'll never get to that one if you stop at 10 no's. You'll never get to that somebody that's going to completely change and transform your business if you stop when the first 15 people say no. You need to understand that this is just like school, right? Sometimes you may have to reread something over and over and over again until you fully get it. And so the same thing here, you're going to just have to go through, not go through the motions, but you're going to have to put in the work, do the reps. And so in the beginning, when you're not as good and you're developing your skill, maybe some people are saying no to you, but it's okay, because all of those are building your foundation for you to build that confidence and the posture that's necessary, so that eventually you're not speaking to 100 to get 1, but speaking to 100 to get 10, right? And then eventually speaking to 100 to get 20. How awesome is that? Earlier in 2020, I remember listening once again to Brian Carruthers, one of my favorite mentors. He was doing a lead training call, right? Speaking to live leads. And I remember him saying, look, if you just commit to this process in the beginning, maybe you won't sign anyone up. But can you imagine if you were to get 50 people that you were speaking to every single month? All right, that's going to be, 600 people in a year that you're going to speak to. How do you think that you're going to be speaking to the 600th person compared to the first person? So much better, right? But it's because of your consistent activity. And so that, my friends, is what's going to build your posture that's necessary to improve your ratio. Okay. And so what that does is it leads me to number 4, which is going to be to have passion and enthusiasm for your business, right? Passion and enthusiasm is necessary to be a top recruiter. Because look, if you call people, if you're speaking to a close friend or a relative, you're speaking to a coworker and you're like, hey, I just started this side business, and I believe that it's going to help me to achieve my financial goals in 2021, and it's a legal service plan. Like, guys, do you believe that anyone's going to join you if that's how you speak about your business? But when you have excitement and enthusiasm, those same words convey differently. Hey family, look, I just found out about this opportunity. I'm so excited about it, I can barely even speak, right? I'm not sure the last time I've been this excited about a project that I'm working on, but I thought about you because, look, we worked together for a long time in restaurants, right? And we always talked about, if I could just, right? If I could just make a little bit more money, if I could just get a promotion. Look, I remember us having those conversations, and that's why I wanted to talk to you, man, because I'm excited about this project I'm working on. And if I was to send you a video, would you be willing to take a look at it? Right? Did you see? I said pretty much the same things, but with a different level of enthusiasm. And so it's necessary because it's also going to help you move from one failure to the next. And the reason why I keep using the word failure is because, look, not everyone is going to say yes. Not everyone is going to be as excited as you. But if you have a certain level of enthusiasm and excitement, maybe you can start at 150%. So when that first person says no, you go down to 140, right? The second person, maybe they say no, and you go down to 120, right? The third person, now maybe you're at 100%, right? But you still have the energy and the enthusiasm necessary to move to the next, right? Because I'm not gonna lie, it still hurts me to this day when people tell me no, but I get so excited because I understand the potential. I understand that if I just get to the person that is gonna say yes, what that can do for not only myself and my business, but for them as well. Right? So have some excitement and some enthusiasm. Got to check my notes here, guys. I'm getting so excited. Okay. But look, people are going to care so much more about the height of your enthusiasm than the depth of your knowledge. And so that's why we call it ignorance on fire, right? Because some people, they join our business and they don't know what they don't know. And so they get excited and they go tell everybody. And we almost call it throwing up legal shield on people. And it doesn't matter because they're like, yo, why is John, why is, Edmund so excited about what he's talking about? And so I just need to take a look, right? Because they're not going to care if you know all the details. They're going to care that you're excited. And so use your excitement and your enthusiasm, right, as a belief transfer, because we understand that a sale is nothing but a transference of belief in the first place. And so these things, guys, are going to help to transform your business, give you confidence so that you can recruit more and build a bigger team. The last thing, guys, that I'm going to talk about here, as far as these 5 things that you need, is going to be being system dependent. Guys, the reason you want to be system dependent is because systems make people wealthy. Right? Think about McDonald's. We all know that if we go to a McDonald's, we know exactly where the drive-thru is at, right? We know exactly where they cook the fries and where they flip the patties and where my McFlurry is going to come from. Yes, I know exactly where that's at. So if I got hired today, or I'm pretty sure within a few hours, I would know exactly what to do. Why am I bringing this up? It's because there's a system in place that causes them to be successful. Right? If we decided we're all going to put our money in and we're going to start a franchise, a McDonald's franchise, we wouldn't say, look, we're going to paint those arches blue. We're going to paint them yellow. All right? because we understand that there's already a system of success, and that's the exact same thing in this environment. We already have a system of success. We already have a blueprint. We understand that all we do here is a few things, few simple things. We're going to pique someone's interest, right? Similar to what I just did, right? By simply sharing, hey, I'm working on a project that I'm excited about. And I thought about you. It won't take much of your time and you may or may not be interested, but would you be willing to take a look at what it is that I'm working on, right? You pique their interest. You send them information, right? You send them information or you get them in front of some information, right? We do Zooms, things of that nature, right? And then from there, we transition to a 3-way phone call. All right, that is our system. It's simple. It's not easy. Very simple, but not easy. And so we need to stick to these things because it's proven to work. But sometimes things work so well that we're like, no, it just can't be that simple, right? I mean, there's no way that that's all we do, right? But that is what we do. And when we simplify it, it doesn't matter whether you're 18 or 80. It doesn't matter whether you have a GED or PhD. Anyone can work a system and have success. That's what causes duplication, my friends. So those are the 5 things, the 5 must-haves. And I'm going to close and end on just a few strategies that I know that you can implement right now today. That is once again going to help you to not only implement these 5 strategies, these 5 must-haves, but these things are going to help you right now today go out and start prospecting and having some success. And so what I need you all to do, if you haven't done it already, is make a list, right? You need a paper list. I do it every single month. Right? Every month I have fill your funnel. And that means that these are people that I'm going to speak to, right? I have a brand new list every month. And whether it's people that I didn't contact last month and, maybe I dropped the ball there, so I move them to my list for the current month. But I start a brand new list and I shoot for over 100 names every single month because now I can tangibly see on paper who I've spoken to or who I need to speak to, right? And I can check my list off and I know who exactly I sent information to and I input all that stuff into Prospect by Legal Shield. Guys, these are things that you must do, that you have to do if you want to be a top recruiter. If you're going to take this seriously, if you're going to be a young professional. All right, so I make a brand new list. And so when I do that, then I start to contact the list, right? It sounds silly, it sounds crazy, but some people, they write the name down, they never make the phone call. All right, so you got to pick up the phone, right? And once again, through the repetition, through your consistency, you're going to build confidence. And maybe you mess it up the first few times and that's okay. But that's why you build a big list, because after the first few names, it's going to get easier. You get into repetition after a few people that you call. And so after I start calling a few people on this list and I'm checking them off, right? Then I start to build another list. And what that list is going to be is the people that I've actually exposed, people that I sent the information to. So I want you to build a list. These are the people I'm going to contact. These are the people I'm filling my funnel with. But then I'm going to build a list of the people that I actually sent information to. The people that actually have seen it. And what this is going to do for you is it's going to build a hot list. Like they do it in Prospect by Legal Shield. You see it right there. There's a fire symbol right next to all the prospects that have actually taken a look at a certain amount of information. But here on this paper, right, this physical piece of paper, I'm actually able to see who I've sent information to. Right? And if they're interested, right? Because now I'm setting up a 3-way phone call. What that does for me is I call it now an attack list. These are people that I know either have some level of interest or understand what it is that we do, right? They have some interest and now understand what it is that we do. And if they told me no, then okay, I'll ask them, hey, do you mind if I keep you informed on my success and the success of my team, right? We're doing some phenomenal things here and we're looking to have an amazing 2021. Do you mind if I keep you informed with our success and what it is that we're doing, right? Most people say yes. So the people that have told me, look, this isn't for me right now, I have them on another list, right? I'm keeping them informed. But the people that have looked at it and they're excited, they're like, look, I want some more information. Like now they're on an attack list for me, right? Because that's how you have to pursue this thing, with some aggression, with the, that level of enthusiasm and excitement, because look, you're like, look, I'm going to attack this thing. I know that I've got people that are interested. You filled your funnel, right? And so lastly, guys, what you do in order to have big numbers of recruits is something that you all have maybe heard, and if you haven't, then great. I get to share it with you for the first time. It's called dangling the carrot, all right? Shopping the app. Now, what I need you all to do, right, and this only works if you actually have filled your funnel and contacted a large number of people. All right, what you're going to do is when you recruit the one person, I need you to be focused on turning that 1 into 2, that 2 into 5. And what do I mean by that? is that now that you have someone that has signed up, I need you to go back through that funnel. These people that have looked at information, maybe they said no, but they gave you permission to keep them informed, remember? Right? Maybe they looked at it and they just haven't made a decision yet. Maybe they're still in that process, right, of the system that we talked about. And so I'm going to go back to, whoever this may be. I'm just going to say Allison, for example. I'm going to call Allison. I'm going to say, hey, Allison, how you doing? Look, I know I spoke to you a couple weeks ago, but I just wanted to reach back out because, look, I've got an opportunity for you. I know that you were still a little bit on the fence, making a decision about partnering with us here with Legal Shield. But I just signed up a new team member, right? This guy, he's so excited. He's got a sales background, right? Whatever the background may be. Look, he's got a sales background and he's excited about joining our team. Look, I already know this guy's gonna kill it. And so I've got about 24 hours where I can place him on anyone in my organization's team. But I was wondering if you wanted to get started, I could actually put this guy on your team. And so that would start you out with someone already on your team. It's gonna help you to possibly earn income when he makes a sale. It's gonna help you to achieve higher ranks in our company as he continues to protect families. And who wouldn't want to get started, right, with a team already? I'm going to help you build this thing. I want you to see that we're going to have a partnership here. So I just wanted to give you that opportunity, right? And so maybe Allison says, no, thank you, it's not for me. I say, hey, that's okay. Do you mind if it's okay? Is it okay if I continue to keep you informed? She says, yes. I move on to John. I talk to John, and John takes that same opportunity that I gave to Allison, and he says, yeah, man, why wouldn't I want to get started? I say, awesome. I get him on the website. We get him enrolled. Now I've got 2 people. I take the 2 people and I say, look, Allison, remember I just spoke to you a couple hours ago. It's crazy. I just spoke to this other gentleman named John and he decided he wanted to get started. So now I've got 2 people. I just want you to know I've got 2 people. I could actually put them on your team if you were interested in getting started. I just want to throw that out there. Let me know if you're interested, right? Maybe I did that through text. Now I'm going through my funnel. Guys, I hope that you're keeping up with me here. But then I go to another person, right? This only works if your funnel is filled, right? If you spoke to a lot of people. And so I continue to go through these numbers. And now I'm saying, look, I've got 3 people started. Are you ready to get, would you like to partner with us? Because I could put these 3 people on your team. Like, they're already in the system. They're excited to go, right? I'm going to help you build this thing, right? So now I've got 4 people started. This, guys, is how I've been able to explode my recruiting in 2020. This is why I'm so excited for 2021, because this has just been something I've learned to implement just 6 months ago, right? 7, 8 months ago. So, look, it doesn't take you long to master these activities. And I shouldn't even say master because I know that I haven't. I know that I'm going to continue to improve. So family, these are things that I need you all to do. Like, you gotta do these things, right? These 5 critical things in order to be a top recruiter. These are 5 must-haves. Right? You gotta have a plan and set your goals. Walk them backwards. Right? Put your goal up there, but unless you have a plan, it's only going to be a wish and a hope, right? You have to be persistent and consistent because that's a part of your plan. You got to be consistent with it. Otherwise, you'll have success, maybe some short-term success, but it is going to be short-lived because you're not being consistent. You won't get the reps in. You won't develop the habits that are necessary in order to sustain it. Have posture, right? That posture is your confidence, and it only comes through the repetition. Right? Through the reps of gaining the skills necessary in order to be a top recruiter. All right. And then you're going to have passion and excitement, enthusiasm. These are things, family, that of course you're going to get with success and the results that you're going to see. But I need you not to worry about the results and actually get so excited about doing the activity, because it's in the activity, it's in the doing that you gain your belief and that posture that I'm talking about. Right. And lastly, I need you to be system dependent. Right? Focus on the system because the system makes people money, right? It makes people wealthy and rich, right? So those 5 things, guys, they're critical. And I know that you're going to go out and focus on them. I know that you're going to explode your recruiting in 2021. I look forward to celebrating you at the top. Take care. God bless.
Hey, Elizabeth Ibarra here from Southern California. I am 28 years old, currently a full-time camp safety officer for a private college. I joined Legal Shield back in 2010. Back when it was still prepaid legal, but unfortunately I didn't have the proper mindset, so I ended up putting Legal Shield on the back burner and decided to focus on school. I got my diploma, had a few jobs in between before getting my full-time job as a campus safety officer, and but through that time that I was away from Legal Shield, my life took some unexpected turns, not just for myself, but for my family as well. And it made me realize that I needed to be better prepared for the unexpected. And, you know, while I have an amazing job where I'm able to provide for myself and for my family, you know, it'd just be nice to have some extra spending money for me. I'm just saying. So I came back to Legal Shield in August of 2020, last year. And I instantly heard about the Young Pros. So I hopped in the chat, hopped on the training calls, the Zoom presentations, and they have been so helpful. The Young Pros have been such a positive impact on not just my business, but my life as well, with the nonstop love and support and encouragement that I've gotten from being a part of the Young Pros is truly just a blessing, and I couldn't be more thankful. And I'm just, yeah, I'm blessed to be a Young Pro. One tip, or a tip that I'll leave with y'all, is, like my mentor, Miss Jocelyn Brown, would say, stick and stay. Because before I decided to come back to Legal Shield, one of the thoughts going through my head was, what if I had decided to stay? You know, what if I stuck it out and didn't let my negative mindset get in the way? You know, where would I be right now? How different would my life look? So I did the what if game, and I decided to come back. And I'm so glad that I did, because one thing I focused on since being back is my mindset and my personal development, and it has been a total game changer for me, because it's just, my mindset is totally different from how it was a few months ago, and situations that have come up now, I've handled it completely different than how I would have been. So I'm just so thankful because for Legal Shield and for the Young Pros, and just a huge thank you. And also one more tip, let yourself be messy, whether it be with the calls or videos that you might do. Just allow yourself to mess up. Allow yourself to make mistakes, because that's how you learn. That's all I have to say, and thank you for your time. Have a good day.
Hey guys, look, Mr. Hunter's training is about to make our teams explode. Oh my goodness. And you know we have to download it, but you guys know that there's only one reason why I'm back, right? We're taking another 5-minute break. And in this 5-minute break, you should already know what to do. If you're new here with us and you're just now locking in, we're taking 5-minute breaks because we're knocking out real activity, guys. And so I want you to use the script that we're about to put up on the screen. We're going to put up a script. I want you to go into your text messages, go into your phones, and I want you to invite your friends to a presentation we're doing tonight. That's right. We're doing a presentation for Young Pros at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time at youngprozoom.com. And I know sometimes it can be scary. I don't want to sell. I don't know what to say. So we're going to put this script up. We're going to make it easy, and we're all going to do it together. So take the next 5 minutes, go potty if you need to, but make sure you come right back, get your phone, and send out some invites for tonight's presentation. We'll be right back. Oh my goodness. Hope you got your presentation invites out. I know I did. I'm ready to enjoy another training. Are you ready? Guys, this young lady is about to rock your stocks off. Please come back. It's time to come back. Break's over. Get ready to take some incredible notes because your mind is about to be blown. Let's get into our next training.
Coming to you here from hot, sunny Riviera Maya. What an amazing event that this has been. I am so grateful to be here with y'all today. I've got to give a huge shout out to my boy, Josh Lockhart, for putting together this phenomenal event. He is such an awesome professional, and I'm just excited to be here with you guys to talk about a topic that we all know, and that is social media. First and foremost, for those of you that I have not had the opportunity to get to know just yet, my name is Rachel Lawton. I have been with Legal Shield now for just over 8 years. Currently am a $150,000 ring earner. I serve in a couple of capacities in our business solutions division of the company. I'm a regional trainer overseeing about 8 states in the Great Lakes region, so huge shout out to my Great Lakes peeps. I also work very closely with our corporate leadership on the Benjamin Franklin Society. My background before Legal Shield was waiting tables and cleaning houses. I have no professional background whatsoever, and Legal Shield came to me. It was kind of divine intervention, if you will. I was not looking for an opportunity like this, but it landed in my lap, and I've now been full-time with the business for just over 6 years. So my first 2 years were very part-time, steady Eddie, PC Pro, then hit the likes of ED and was able to hang up the apron, get rid of the mops and buckets, and go full-time with Legal Shield. So why are we talking about social media today? Well, duh, the whole entire world is connected through social media. There's like a million platforms that you can use to grow your professional image. Sometimes we do it in the right way, and sometimes we totally botch it, right? So we're talking about social media today because I believe that there's a true etiquette into doing it the right way to really give yourself a brand that you can also build and grow your business with. So I don't know about you guys, but when I first started in social media, I was doing the Facebook thing, right? Well, I was doing Facebook just like everybody else was doing Facebook. And I did it all wrong when it came to business prospecting. Like, I was the girl spamming everybody's instant messaging box. I was the girl that did like the canned messages. Anyone else been there? I know it's not just me. It was ridiculous and so embarrassing. But then I learned how to do it the right way, right? So we've got Facebook, we've got Instagram, we've got LinkedIn, we've got TikTok, we've got Twitter, we've got all sorts of different ways that we can connect with people. What I want to tell you today is you don't have to be on all of them. What I learned was to choose one that works the best for you, that you can start becoming very consistent with, building your own personal brand, creating a following, and then add on. It's just like our business in Legal Shield, right? If we go and try to do everything, we can never master that craft. But if we start small and then build out, you would be shocked to see what can happen in your business. So I chose LinkedIn. Why did I choose LinkedIn? Because my key prospects are those that run corporations, run businesses. I'm looking to get in there and do business with them, right? So I know that those prospects are going to be more visible on LinkedIn from a professional setting. Now, LinkedIn gets a bad rap every once in a while. I promise you, young pros are totally on there. So if you're looking to recruit a large organization of business professionals, or you're looking to get into corporations and companies, that's going to be a great platform for you. But let's say that's really not your gig. Well, you've got Instagram, right? If you're not on Instagram, then you probably should be if your prospect is there. So this is the deal, guys. You don't have to be everywhere. what you really want to keep in mind here from a strategic standpoint is, number one, who is your perfect prospect? If you could bring it open on a visual whiteboard, like what are the key aspects of who you want your prospects to be? And then figure out through a couple Google searches exactly which platform they're likely engaged in. Okay, so that's going to be the number one, first and foremost goal. Now, I will admit, I'm not really too up on the whole Twitter thing because it's just, I don't know, I don't need to do it all, right? But I'm totally on Instagram, I'm totally on Facebook, and I'm absolutely on LinkedIn. So again, you just want to choose the one where your key prospects are at and then start building it out. Now, a couple key questions that you want to make sure that you ask yourself is, number one, who are you looking to attract? And if so, would you be attracted to you? So what I mean by that is, what is your message that you're sending to the world? Are you like super flashy and it's all about you? Or are you giving back? Are you sharing things about your personal life? Not too personal, but personal enough, right? So people can get to know you for who you are before they make that business decision. Now, I do want to say one thing, because sometimes we think that there is a magic pill in business to like create a shortcut to success, right? There's no shortcuts to the road of success. However, when you implement strategies such as this, you'll be able to not go in cold on a prospect. I believe that cold prospecting is a thing of the past. It's not where the people are. They don't make buying decisions because they're picking up a cold call, right? They're making a buying decision because they're attracted to who you are. They're attracted to your landing page. They're following you for content that's relative and relatable to them. So when you go in for that buying decision, they're already ready because they understand who you are. I hope that makes sense. So we want to be strategic about what you're doing. You also want to make sure that you've got a game plan. Your engagement is consistent, but yet not creepy, right? You don't want to be the creepy Rachel that went spamming everyone's inbox that I went to high school with, whatever, and I hadn't talked to them for 3 years, and now I want to give them some extra income. That's not the way this works, right? Again, I'm coming to you from a very humble situation, going from barely making Performance Club to earning well over 6 figures with Legal Shield, okay? So I promise you, if you're doing all the wrong things that I did in the beginning, you can totally change it right now and make that strategic game plan for you. We are in a brand new year. We're kicking off the new year. So if you've done it wrong in the past, that's totally cool. Brush it off, make a strategic plan, and make sure that moving forward, you know why you're sharing what content and to what audience it is you're looking to attract, okay? Second thing, you want to make sure that you've got a consistent message. So one of the things that helped me in the beginning, yes, I actually went out and got a coach to tell me how to prospect properly using social media. I know, it sounds crazy, right? But you don't learn these things overnight. So I did hire a coach, and what I was able to do to figure out, how do I make what I'm posting relevant and not just everything that flies into my brain? Because I think sometimes we do that and we can unfortunately shoot ourselves in the foot before we ever get off to the great start, right? So again, if you've done that before, that's okay. Brush yourself off and don't do it again. But what you want to do, especially with your business goals, is develop a strategy for daily consistent content. So what I mean by that is, I really kind of started off doing something like Monday motivational. I always made sure that I had something consistent in my Monday message, whether I posted once during the day or I posted 10 times during the day. I wanted to make it easy and tangible in my own brain to understand, oh, it's Monday, so I'm going to be, I'm going to hit on the motivation today. Tuesday, I always like to give a tip or like a business trick or business tip if you're on LinkedIn. If you are using Instagram and Facebook more so for your prospecting technique, I would absolutely engage with like family activity on one certain portion of the week, just to help you put together a game plan where you can become consistent and then it just becomes natural. Wednesdays, I always like to do something like a quote or Wisdom Wednesday, something I learned throughout the week, something I learned during the weekend, and just kind of hit on some things like that. Thursdays are really the only days out of the whole week that I ever talk about my personal business. So it might be a success story. It might be that we were titled, or Legal Shield or ID Shield was titled in a magazine, or they had written some type of a promo, right? PR type thing, and it's all business related. But I only make it a point to do that once a week because I don't want to be that overseller and share everything every single day. Again, you want to give value, you want to give back so that while you're creating that following, they're actually going to pay attention to what it is that you have to say. On Fridays, I like to do something, super fresh, fun for the weekend, anything that's fun. Even if I'm out having a cocktail or a Corona in Riviera Maya, I want to post something like that because I'm fun too. I'm not just all business, right? I promise you I'm fun. And then throughout the weekend, something that has to do with how you're building into the next week or what you wrapped up with. And again, this is just what helped me develop that consistent strategy to now where, honestly, I will be completely straight with you. Most of my new prospecting, my new business comes from referral-based marketing on social media. It is absolutely amazing. So going from that creepy girl that did everything wrong in the beginning, barely hitting Performance Club and spamming people's inbox, to then hiring a coach and getting me off to a strategic setting has completely changed my business. So I just want to leave you with a couple of key things here. Number one, I believe in homework. Okay, so I'm going to give you some homework. Develop a business strategy for yourself and be consistent with it. Don't try to be on every single platform without mastering that craft. Because until you can master the craft, you're just going to be, posting out here one day and then you forget about it next week and then you're no longer relevant because people don't see you and you're not being consistent. Okay, so that's number one thing. Number two thing, if you have been creepy or weird or whatever, this is what I actually ended up doing. I went back, I will never forget it. So a girlfriend of mine, her name is Joanna, from high school. I hadn't seen her in probably, maybe 4 or 5 years. I was not at all personable in my instant message to her. I was just like, hey girl, I think you maybe need some extra income, so you should really take a look at this and come to this hotel meeting somewhere, and I haven't seen you in 5 years, it was so creepy weird. Of course, she hid me, blocked me, never talked to her. Then I came back to her about a year later after I had learned some things, and I was like, look, I'm so sorry. I was super creepy. I was super weird. How dare I make an assumption that you need to make extra money, right? So I just apologized to her. I told her I went through some bumps and bruises in my business, trying to learn the thing and how's life going, and then we just developed more of a relationship, getting back to that relationship goals, right? To where 2 years later, she ended up giving me a hot referral into a brand new company, 85 employees, and she was the HR director for that company. So it was absolutely perfect and a beautiful situation that you can totally turn around just by being straight with someone and saying, I'm sorry, I was creepy and weird, right? So just make sure that you're developing that winning game plan, that winning strategy, and knock some ideas around with your upline or somebody that you're working with very closely in the business that you trust, that can kind of help you with that strategic setting. And lastly, guys, you want to make sure to have fun with it. Be consistent and have a blast. Social media does not need to be all super staunchy and all super business, right? It also doesn't need to be over the top flashy, because sometimes that can rub people the wrong way. But if you're being honest, genuine, consistent, and having fun, that is attractable and relatable to any sort of prospecting that you might be doing out there on social media, right? So, sorry, I said that was the last thing, but I got one more thing for you. Anybody that you are connecting with on a daily basis, whether it's physical, in an in-person situation, or somebody from the past that maybe comes across your mind, you'll want to make sure to connect with them on social media so they can begin to get to know you a little bit more, right? Because that's where your prospecting is going to go from cold to warm to super hot. Make it attractable and have fun with it. So with that, again, I want to give a shout out to my boy Josh Lockhart. Thanks so much for having me here today, you guys. Wishing you all the best.
Hey guys, did you send out some more invites? Let me tell you, we've had incredible breaks. So many people have been hitting us up in the Young Pro chat about how many successes they've been having with sending out their invites. Guys, make sure that you continue to invite to the presentation we're doing for Young Pros at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time and 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, because we're doing it just for you. Invite, invite, invite. We're going to take another 5-minute break. We're going to put that script back up just so you can get some more invites in, and we'll be right back with more here at the Young Pros, going all the way up. Bye, guys. Hey guys, we're about to wrap up. I hope that you have enjoyed sending out your invitations and actually getting to do some activity together, right? Sometimes it feels so far apart. We've got masks and all of that. Our Zooms have been crazy, but this Zoom tonight, I'm telling you, it's never happened before and it's never gonna happen again. So before this event ends, I want you to use the script that we've been using all this time throughout the event, and I want you to send out as many invites as you can to our Young Pros presentation happening at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, because guess what, Young Pros? We're about to rock the house. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for spending your breaks with me, and I'm so excited for what you're about to hear from our Senior Vice President. Bye, guys. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of the event.
All right, and we're back. I hope that this event has been incredible for you. Hope that you've gotten something out of it. If you have, make sure, if you have not done so already, to go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel, right? This is your channel. This is a tool for when you are introducing people, or you want to stay close to the fire, right? Motivation, inspiration, or you want somebody to check out what we're doing. This is a great place to send them to see the community, to see the people, to hear the stories again and again. So as this channel grows, hopefully your business will grow along with it if you follow along. Right, so I'm going to talk about over the next couple of minutes two topics, right? Number one is duplication in your organization. And number two, what you can expect from Young Pros for the rest of the year. Really, really excited for those two things. But duplication, let's talk about it, right? So duplication, if we look it up in the dictionary, it's going to say things like replicate. It's going to say copy. It's going to use words like that. And in its simplest form, that's all duplication means, right? It means to copy, in terms of our business, copy your results. And I think a lot of times it is something that is like this magical unicorn that exists often in some fairyland, where some people seem to have quite a bit of it, and other people, it just, man, you can't seem to duplicate much of anything, right? If anything, you duplicate frustration sometimes. So what is it? Why do some people have seemingly duplication that never ends, and other people just can't seem to get a hold of it? And that's what we're going to talk about, and I'm going to make it really simple. Okay? Duplication is not something you teach. All right? So let's think about it, right? Let's go down the road here. If let's think about top NBA players, right? That's like NBA is the best you can really get in basketball. So if you take a LeBron James or a Michael Jordan, can you duplicate them? Well, I mean, it's really tough to do. There's only one Michael Jordan. There's only one LeBron James. But you can duplicate some of their skill set, right? Dribbling, passing, shooting, free throws, all these types of things, right? What about in business, right? We think of names like, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, like these types of things. Can you duplicate them? I mean, to a degree. I mean, we can pick things out of, the way they speak, the way they lead. Warren Buffett has written books on his investing philosophy, but there's really only one, right? So, it's not like we can just cookie cutter people. We're not machines. We're people. We have different likes and dislikes. We have different fears and things that make us up, right? And so sometimes in this business, we're looking at our team and we're like, why aren't you doing more? You've been to the training one time. I told you what to do, and obviously they're not us, and we say things like we want it for our team more than they want it for themselves. And so, can you duplicate desire? Well, sure you can, right? But that doesn't mean that they have it. We certainly can't teach it, because you don't know what's on the inside of somebody, right? We don't wear signs on our chest and on our forehead that says, I'm open to an opportunity and I'll work hard no matter what, right? And so we have to think about what does duplication mean? What can we do about it? How do we create duplication? And I would argue, well, let me pause right there. And even so, sometimes we say, well, that duplicates and that doesn't duplicate, right? This activity, don't do it because that won't duplicate. It's like there's some community of duplication police that tells us what will and won't duplicate. I've never found them. I've never read the handbook of duplication, right? Like, I don't know what it is. And but here's what I found out. All right, here's what I found out. Now, one, when we're talking about doing things in the business that work, that produce results, all right, now if what you're doing, if the systems and the processes of what you're doing is personality driven, maybe you've gone to a training, you've watched something on YouTube, you've listened to somebody and they're just fantastic. They sound good, they look good, they get the results. But when you try to think and break down the process of what they do, it's like you can't seem to pick it out. That's because what they're doing is very personality driven. Meaning if you're a different personality, you're really going to have trouble doing that. And what does that mean? So sometimes I've talked to people and they said, I went out and I landed this customer, I did this, I got this account, whatever the case may be. And well, how did you do that? What did you say? And they're like, well, I don't know. I just talked to them. Or sometimes people say, well, I don't like scripts. I don't use scripts. I just say whatever seems right in that moment for that situation. And it's like, well, sure, you can have different situations, but if you can't do, if you can't tell me what you said 2 times in a row, then you can't hand it to somebody and say, hey, here's the roadmap, here's the blueprint. That's all based on your personality and whatever feels right in the moment, right? So that's good for you, but what is everybody else supposed to do? All right? So if you want more duplication, okay, it's not something that you're going to hear and teach to others, hey, do this, do that. You need to be somebody that is worthy of being duplicated. Now, I don't know about everybody. I can tell you from my business, right? I've been doing this over a decade now, all right? And I've had times where I was recruiting people and seemingly like nothing was happening, was getting no traction, and other times where it seemed like everything worked. And what was the difference? Well, when it was working, I was somebody that my team could look at and go, you know what? That is somebody that I want to copy. That is somebody that I want to replicate. So right now, right, grab your pen, grab your book, or better yet, grab your keyboard, all right? Think in your head, who is somebody in this business that you would like to replicate their results? You would like to trade places with them if you could. Who is a leader? Who is somebody that you look up to? You're like, man, I want that kind of results. I want that kind of lifestyle, all right? So, hey, if you got them in your head, all right, put their name down, type their name in, all right? They would love it, Not to say they need the recognition, but they sure would appreciate it. Whoever that is, right? Who is somebody that you would trade places with? Now let's break it down, okay? Think about, how do they speak? Are they well-spoken? Okay, now we have some people who are more well-spoken than others, right? So do you think that they were just born that way, or have they practiced? Have they drilled? Maybe they've taken classes. You may or may not know that, right? So if you want to be a better speaker like that person that you're thinking about, how can you model yourself after them? All right, maybe they're a fantastic salesperson. All right, maybe they go out and they're just, they're killing the game. All right, they're at the top of the charts of selling the service, selling the Legal Shield membership. All right, could you look and look at what they do and show up on the calls that maybe they're coaching or teaching on and go, okay, I'm going to learn everything about what this person does and replicate their systems and processes. How about our top recruiter training earlier with Edmund Hunter, right? Would you like to be a top recruiter like Edmund Hunter? Well, he did the training. What could you go back and look, okay, how did he say that? What was the principles of how he did, right? Maybe it's like, what is he posting on social media? Rachel Lawton, social media, right? Maybe go check out her training. Maybe go check out what she's doing. When is she posting? What is she doing on Monday? What is she doing on Tuesday? What is she doing on Wednesday? You know what I'm saying? Find somebody who has what you want, learn what they know, do what they've done. Now, I tell you, when I first got in the business, I was learning how to do the presentation. I got to be honest, my presentation sounded just like my sponsor's presentation. It was the same jokes, it was the same pauses, because that's all I knew. But that gave me something that I could go out on my own and produce income. Right? I didn't have to wait One time I was at somebody's house and we had a DVD that we'd go play, right? We'd go to someone's house, we'd put the DVD in, and the DVD was scratched. It didn't work. What are you supposed to do? I guess I'll come back later. Or, you send the video to somebody and they go, oh, my internet's not working, my Wi-Fi's not working, I can't get it to load. What do? I guess, call me when the internet works. Well, no, I learned how to do the presentation. Now, I didn't know it, but I could repeat it. I memorized it. And what happened after much practice and drilling and rehearsing, I would hear Martavius Hillman do the presentation. I would hear a Jocelyn Brown do the presentation. I would hear a Darnell Self or Brian Crothers and all these different people do the presentation. And I like that. Ooh, I like that. And I would say it and I go, it didn't come out the way he said it. It come out a little different. It come out a little funky, right? But over time, I got my own style of presentation. Now I would, you might say, well, okay, great, you have your own, it's still not my own presentation. Right, there's a gentleman in the company, Millionaire Club member, one of the most fantastic trainers that we've had. I learned a lot from. His name's Tony Petrill, incredible guy. And this was last year. I was in Charlotte, and he was actually the business solutions, we didn't call it B2B trainer, the group trainer back in Michigan when I was coming up in the business. And I heard him do tons of presentations, and I like how he said that. I like how he said that. He gives lots of examples in his presentation. I really like that. And so it's been years and years and years, and I've moved around, and I hadn't seen or heard from Tony in a while, and he's living the good life. So if he sees this, hey, Tony. But I was in Charlotte last year, and he was doing a presentation, and I'm sitting in the back with my notepad, and he's going through his presentation, and I've heard it a bunch of times, and I'm like, whoa, I say that. And then I was like, I say that too. Half the presentation, I say that. It's like, well, of course. I got much of my presentation from one of the best to ever do it, right? And so I replicated what he did. Now, I put my own spin on it, right? The Josh Lockhart spin. I have my own dumb jokes that sometimes people laugh at, right? And you'll create yours based on your personality. But again, you've duplicated what others have come before you and have done, right? That goes for what are those people reading? Right, so let's start making a list right now. Let's make a list. Put that person's name down. Now, maybe their personality is different than your personality, so you're not going to try to be somebody that you're not, but the principles, right? So, what kind of books are they reading? Now, you might not know. You might not have access to the person, but I bet if you come around to the calls like this, the events like this, and others, our conventions in St. Louis, and Young Pro calls, and all these different things, right, you'll find out. I would say in 2021, right, you have access to so many people, more so than ever before, right? Think about it. There was a time before the internet where if you wanted to have access to somebody, you had to get in a plane, in a car, and hunt that person down, or drive across the country and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, get on a Zoom call, click a button, pick up the phone, go online, go onto YouTube, and you have access to the people and the information that you want, right? So make a list. What are those people reading, right? What does their schedule look like? How often do they show up? If you say, hey, I want to be a $100,000 earner, great. Pick out a $100,000 earner. How often are they showing up? Is it a lot? Is it more than you're willing to show up right now? You might say, well, I can't show up as much as them because I have a busy schedule. I have kids, or whatever the case may be. And that might be a good excuse, but of course, any excuse will do, right? So maybe you either have to go, well, okay, maybe there's another way. Maybe I should look at somebody else, or maybe I should lessen my goal. And I would urge you not to do that, right? If there's a will, there's a way. And of course, hey, listen, in 2021, space and time is no longer an issue, right? You're on Zoom right now, all right? You're on YouTube. You're on all the social media platforms. The internet runs 24/7. So there is a way, but find the person, right, that you can relate to, that you want to trade places with, right? So what are they reading? How do they speak? How often do they show up, right? How much sales, how much recruiting are they doing, right? And if you just go take a deep dive on these types of people, right, and then you start to extract the things that they're doing, the systems that they're doing, right? There was a gentleman named Dave Savola, right? He's since passed away. Before he passed, he was the #1 money earner in the company. Incredible guy. He was hilarious, had a huge personality, but it was funny. I'd heard him speak, I'd heard him train, and he said the same 4 things the entire time I'd ever heard him, right? It was like, if you were going to invite somebody to, meet up with you, he would say, hey, so-and-so, there's something I'd like to show you. You may or may not be interested, and it'll only take about 15 minutes. And it was like, that was the only thing I heard him say. And then he would do this whole training on how to meet people. And it was based on saying hi, paying a compliment, asking questions. It was so simple, but he had it right? He said, he didn't say this, but what he did was he did something that anybody could do. He kept it the same. It was a system. It was a process that he could go, here you go. Here's my playbook. Take it and do what you will with it. Now, there's many people that didn't get the type of results that he did. There's many, many people that got fantastic results with what he did. And so that's just one lesson, right? We have many, many lessons in this business. So when you're thinking about what do I do on a day-to-day to be successful and show up in my business at whatever level you are, maybe you've mastered being in Performance Club. Maybe you have qualified senior director every month this year. Maybe you only hit executive a couple times. Maybe in 2021, you're saying, hey, I'm going to be executive director every single month in 2021. Fantastic. Well, whatever level you've gotten to right now, start writing down what are the systems, what are the processes, what is the playbook that allows me to do what I've done, right? You heard Martavius Hillman's training, right? He broke that down and he had a process. He had metrics. So if you're like, okay, I'm getting close. I'm making some income. I'm getting close. I want to punch it in over the next 8 weeks, right? You can go, okay, here's what he did. Here's the things. Here's the playbook, all right? And so I was talking to somebody recently, and they were talking about social media, and they said, oh, man, I've been getting customers on social media. I'd love to share it with you. And, you're probably watching. I'm going to leave you nameless, but you're probably watching right now. But it was a great conversation. It helped me. And I said, well, that's so awesome that you're gaining customers. You're gaining new recruits from social media. And he's like, yeah, I want to share with you what I'm doing. And, some of the stuff that he had talked about, I had heard about. And, of course, he's attending, lots of trainings. And I said, well, if you want to create duplication in your organization, have all these leaders, you have to be very specific on, exactly not only what you're doing, but how much of it you have to do to get the results, right? So I asked him, I said, well, how many customers did you get last month? He told me it was a good number. I said, well, how many, people did you have to reach out to get that? And he's like, he started to get a little fuzzy. I'm like, well, maybe around this type of this. I said, well, what message did you send? And then after you reached out to him, what happened next? What did you take him to on step 2? How many people were there, right? So you can break this down and then go, here, here's somebody, here, new person. If you do this, if you reach out to this many people over a call or a text or whatever you're doing, then this is going to happen. And roughly speaking, you're going to get these types of results. If you get these types of results, you're going to be right in, right there. You can really plan on a certain type of result if you do this certain type of input. And then from there, right, if you do this, this, and this, you should see these kind of results. And at the end, you get this result that you get, right? You can make X amount of dollars, right? You can get X amount of new customers. Every other business has those metrics. And a lot of times we don't. We just say, hey, just go do more. Well, at some point, you're doing more and you're just not getting the results. You're like, what is it? What is it? And, there's lots of things that it could be. And you can say, well, read more books or do this more. And it's all like, well, I think I'm doing all I can. Well, the problem is that we're just trying to, figure it out. And we're looking at other people going, well, I think and it comes back to systems and processes that can be replicated. All right. And so if you take a look inward at what you're doing on a daily basis, if somebody on your team would grab a hold of that and say, hey, if I can do exactly what you're doing today, I'll have the type of success that I want. All right. Now, if that answer is like, well, people wouldn't do that because I'm not very successful. Well, maybe that's why you're not having enough duplication in your business. So again, there's 2 ways to handle that. It's an and, it's not an or. The and is this. Number 1, you want to plug your team into people that are worthy of being duplicated. Plug them into the young pros. There's plenty of people that are, right? So you have to not only show up consistently, but you have to make sure every single one of your people are plugged in, are linked up to those individuals, to the young pros. Number 2, you have to become somebody worthy of being duplicated. For me, the hardest person to lead was myself. Once I got myself right, all of a sudden I turned around and there's people following me. All right, so be somebody worthy of being duplicated. All right, now the second part of this, before we close out, is what to expect. Now listen, 2020 was an incredible year. Let's just go through some of the wins. We had 9, count them, we had 9 ring earners in 2020 as a part of the Young Pros, right? Many of them were on the council. You know their names, all right? We didn't have an Instagram. Now we have almost 900 followers on Instagram just in the last few months, right? We've taken our chat to 700 people from 100 people over the last couple months. We've had a weekly podcast that we started that's had 75,000 views. 2021, we have some incredible things. Right? We have our ambassadors, right? So if you want to make sure that you're on the list, the first to know, and we're going to have an incentive that we roll out that you definitely want to be on this list, go to youngprosambassador.com, fill out the form there, and you'll be the first to know for any of our events, any of our incentives, any of the upcoming things. And if you're already on that list, you probably got a text this week about today's event, right? So youngprosambassador.com. Make sure you're there because we're going to have an incentive over the next 3 months, so January, February, and March, leading into our international convention in St. Louis, that you can pick up a shirt, a Young Pro shirt. We're going to have special shirts made. If you've seen the ones that we've already done, right, those are awesome. We're going to keep those running, but we're going to have some special shirts made that signified that you have qualified for the incentive. And what is the incentive? Well, it is this. Very, very simple. That you go out over the next 3 months and you Performance Club qualify. Performance Club qualify. Very simple. Now, it is simple, but what is simple to do is also simple not to do. So if you go out and do that over the next 3 months and you go to youngprosambassador.com and fill out the form, right, you're going to be able to pick up a special Young Pro shirt that signifies you are PC for life. And you can show off and everybody's going to know that, hey, you're a pro, you're a player, and you know you want to be a Young Pro, right? So go out and fill the form out right now. Also, right, so we have the ambassadors. We have our council, all right? And now listen, hey, we have a fantastic council. I love these guys, but there's always room for one more, right? So don't count yourself out. But we're getting ready to roll out a second tier, right? A second tier of elite young professionals. They've been doing, maybe they haven't reached that top position yet, but they're going to, and we know that they're going to. And we've been seeing their progress. You probably know their names because they're always on every call. They're plugging in, they're helping out. All right, so these are going to be Young Pro Elites. We're going to have the Young Pro Elite group, and we've set some criteria for that. It's an invite-only group. You're going to be able to kind of join some of the council meetings, have your hands in, kind of steering the ship, if you will. So Young Pro Elite. So if you want to be a Young Pro Elite, we will be reaching out to you and have the opportunity to join in with what we do. But hey, how do you get a part of this group? Well, just keep going, right? Hit Performance Club, keep climbing, right? If you're a senior associate manager, keep going, right? Don't quit. Right? And you could be the next Young Pro Elite. And hey, who knows? You might be on the council and showing up on the next event, showing up at the next Young Pro House. So you want to be a Young Pro Elite. Also, right, we had this event today. It is Saturday, January 9th. Now, we have a lot going on this month. We had our January 2nd kickoff for the company. We have an advanced product training, I believe, next week. You definitely want to be on that with Melissa Wilder. But we had to have this today because every Saturday, this whole year, or not every Saturday, but every month on a Saturday, on the third Saturday of each month, we're going to have a specific special Young Pro recruiting event. All right, this is not just a presentation. So when you think about recruiting somebody, right, if you're going to go get a job at Apple, let's say, what does it look like to get recruited into Apple? Well, maybe you talk to a recruiter and they send you some preliminary information. Now, the #1 recruiter at Google uses a video. It's a lifestyle video to kind of show what Google, kind of what they're about, their mission. It's pretty incredible. You can find it on YouTube, but that's what they use. So maybe you look at a video. Then you talk to the recruiter. Okay, here's the specifics about the position. And then what do you do next? Maybe you jump on a virtual call with some of the partners and you're like, I really like this, but you're like, well, I still got to see it. So maybe you go and tour the offices, see the property, meet a couple people, right? That's kind of what you would do. Well, in our business, it's the same way, right? Maybe you talk to somebody, you see a video. Maybe you joined a virtual call, maybe got on a 3-way call with an expert, one of the partners, to maybe get some insights and say, hey, are these people kind of the type of people that would be for me? Now, we don't have like a physical location you can walk and go see. And of course, with the shutdown, I mean, we're virtually, but you could join a Young Pro call. You can meet some of the council members. You can meet some of the ambassadors, the elites. You can experience what what it's about, what the culture is about. And that's what we're going to do on these recruiting calls. So the third Saturday of every month, it's going to be only about, showcasing the talent, recruiting new associates, and really showing them, hey, this is what you can do here. This is what it's like. Hey, you can come join us. It's going to be they're going to be about 2-hour events. So just mark that on your calendar, right? We have our Instagram page. It's like, it's approaching about 1,000 people now, right? We're going to crush that. The goal is 10,000 by the next year, right? We have a whole year. People overestimate what they can do in a month, but underestimate what they can do in a year, right? We're going to take our Telegram chat, right? We're going to exponentially grow that, right? More importantly, our ring earners, right? We had 9 ring earners last year, right? What if we tripled that? What if you're one of the next ring earners? Right? Maybe you're a little close. Let's get that done in the first quarter. But more importantly, right? We have more young pros like you that are paying your bills by marketing Legal Shield. Very, very simple. We need more people paying their bills by being a full-time entrepreneur from home. And full-time doesn't mean you don't do other things for money. Full-time just means you can rely on the money, right? I mean, my dream is I wanted multiple businesses. I'm all in. Don't get me. I'm all in Legal Shield. I'm all in Young Pros. But I have dreams, real estate, other investment vehicles, maybe other business ideas. That's what I wanted. That's why I started this business, to create the cash flow to fund those other things. Maybe you have other passions too. Maybe it's a nonprofit. Maybe it's, giving back to charities or churches or whatever the case may be, right? But you need something to pay the bills. And once you get that out of the way, right? Once you get just survival out of the way, now you can think about thriving. Now you can think about doing more. And I know it's not all about the money, but it's what the money can do, right? It's what the money can do. And even more than that, right? Money is a measurement of time, right? So even more valuable than money is time. So you got to get the money out of the way so you can have the time. I just got back from Mexico. It was a Legal Shield trip. There's a bunch of folks with us. Martavius Hillman was there. Farrah Shelley was there. It was awesome, right? Now, there was people, even though it was a free trip, I bet, if we went around and asked everybody, there were some people that maybe, got to go on that trip that were like, paying their bills was a little bit rough. And even though, they got to take time off, there might have been some people that said, I can't go. Because even though it's free, I can't take the time off to go on a free trip. Now, I don't know. I didn't hear any stories. But I just imagine there's probably somebody. And that's unfortunate, right? So we want to help everybody to be proficient in the skill set that they can replicate, duplicate, to go out and pay their bills and get ahead in life. Expand your means, not merely save more, but make more so you can do more. And so I'm so glad that you guys hung out with us for this, today, right? Here in a little bit at 8:30, we're going to be on that Zoom call, right? So you want to go to youngprozoom.com, youngprozoom.com. Young Pros 2020 is no more. youngprozoom.com at 8:30. We're going to kick off that call, right? So do whatever you can. Get your invites out. Let's start this year with a bang. And I hope that you follow along with the Young Pros. I hope that you're at the finish line when we see you December 2021. And more importantly, right, I hope you're alongside with us. It's going to be a fantastic ride. It's going to be incredible. We're going to make our dreams come true. Now let's go get it. You guys have a fantastic evening. We'll talk to you soon.